Alex has been trading for about 2 years. In market time, that's basically a kid who just figured out how matches work and immediately built a flamethrower. His portfolio is up 11% this year, mostly because one random crypto coin with a dog logo went vertical. Alex is now convinced he has cracked the system. Alex spends his free time rewatching The Wolf of Wall Street, explaining future tech to strangers at cafes, and refreshing his P&L every 7 minutes. Naturally, Alex decides it's time to turn pro. So he does what every disciplined investor does: exaggerates his income, checks a few risky boxes, and unlocks options trading. 3 months later, Alex is fully loaded into weekly calls on a hype stock that hasn't made a profit since Obama's first term. His trading plan? Momentum. His risk management? Vibes. His partner's question? Why did our emergency fund just disappear? Fast forward again. The Fed tightens policy. Liquidity dries up. Volatility spikes. Alex's portfolio is now down 64%, and his partner's new hobby is searching signs your spouse thinks he's a hedge fund. Which brings us to today's question. Why do the worst investors seem to win? The answer starts with the Dunning-Kruger effect, the psychological sweet spot where confidence peaks right before competence shows up. In markets, this means beginners feel like legends and professionals feel slightly terrified. Since 2020, you could have thrown money at almost anything with a ticker symbol and walked away feeling smart. And if you were sitting at the ignorant but confident end of the curve, you probably beat the index by a mile. Traditional investors talk about cash flows, valuations, and balance sheets. Retail traders buy companies priced at 700x earnings, chase trends that make no logical sense, and promote them like pyramid schemes with better branding. Zoom out even further, and it becomes obvious. We've been riding one of the longest bull markets in history, nearly 2 decades of markets grinding higher. The S&P has behaved less like a benchmark and more like a party that refuses to end. When markets only go up, reckless strategies look brilliant. High risk feels like skill. Luck gets mistaken for intelligence. Eventually, every party ends. So how do you prepare? Option 1, sit on cash, protect capital, accept boredom. Option 2, stay all in, ignore risk, and prepare a list of people to blame when it blows up. Central banks, politicians, hedge funds, manipulation. Pick your favorite villain. Now let's get technical for a moment. Beta. Beta measures how much a stock moves compared to the overall market. If a stock has a beta of 1.4, it means when the market moves 1%, that stock moves about 1.4%. Great on the way up, brutal on the way down. Retail portfolios are usually packed with high beta names, so in bull markets, they outperform. That's when Alex feels like the next legendary investor, posting screenshots and booking overpriced sushi. But when markets turn, gravity does what gravity always does. And suddenly, Alex is checking job listings instead of charts. In rising markets, high beta traders look like geniuses. In falling markets, they become cautionary tales. So the next time someone flexes a lucky trade or a viral coin, remember this: everyone looks smart when the market is carrying them.